All right, so we might as well start with the big news right at the beginning. Yami's back. He's just back. Like Yami is back in the fight. He is not looking nearly as messed up as he was previously. Yami is back. That's the big thing at the end of the chapter, whether you like it or you don't. Nonetheless, it is still hype. There are questions about it that I definitely have. I'm going to get into it, but I just wanted to lead with that. Yami is back, which is like hype. In the beginning of this chapter, we have Asta attempting to go back to the battlefield, even though he's done. Asta spent Mimosa couldn't heal him all of the way for whatever reason, and then we have Nacht, and this is like, me personally, this is a weird choice for Nacht. Like, I understand that the story has to progress. Like, we need the story to move forward, but for Nacht to come in there and be like, oh, you're too beat up to stand on the battlefield, but I'll go with you, and it's like,
there's something wrong. Psychologically, something has happened.
Yep.
Now, I don't know what it is, but Lord.
It's like, I don't know why Noct basically sent them both to die. Like, that's essentially what he did. Like, I get it, Asta wants to fight with Yuno and save the day, but Noct essentially sending them both to the slaughter was just a little wild to me. It's like, bro, why did you do this? And then we get to flash over to Yuno and Meroleona going up against Lucifero, and this was actually really hyped to see these two like essentially like just like go crazy on him. Like it was almost as if like Lucifero could not keep up with them for a little bit, or either that or they were kind of just more or less overwhelming him. Like, it was just a lot for him to deal with. And I did like that we did get the moment with Yuno of him saying that none of our attacks can get through, and taking even one of his attacks would be lethal, but we can fight. I did like Yuno saying that. However, it is a little bit contradictory, a little bit, because if you think about, Meroleona's taking a lot of hits, and Valhalla isn't up anymore, and I feel like she's still taking hits. I believe she's taking hits post Valhalla, and even if she didn't, you still take all of the damage now that Valhalla isn't up. So it's like she's taking hits and all of the damage and still getting up. So like, I guess she's just a special case, as well as Asta's taking a hit and he's still alive. So it's like, I'm not for sure exactly what Yuno was meaning by if they take a hit it's lethal. Maybe if they take like an unguarded hit it's lethal is what he meant. But to me, that him saying that was just a little weird. It was just a little weird. But nonetheless, they are a lot for Lucifero to handle. So much to where Lucifero is getting annoyed. And this is when he refers over to the second devil. Now, I've heard other people say his name. I personally have no idea how to say it. I personally cannot pronounce that. I'm going to try, because you should always at least try. Adramalik. Adramalik. Let's go with that. I'm going to go with second gate devil guy. So he calls out to the second gate devil guy to ask for his help. And this dude is just like, nah.
No, I don't really feel like it.
He's like, nah, I don't really feel like it. Like, I'm not in the mood. It's much more fun to watch you fight, which just shows like there's a very interesting dynamic between these two, because when you have your king, when you have your like your like person that's above you, this is the king of the underworld here, and he was just like, nah, I'm cool, bro. Like, you got it, bro. I'm not even. I'm watching you fight. Like, you over here got it. I'm just watching you. So I can't wait to like. Hopefully, we get to delve more into their relationship afterwards, because we don't really know much about the relationship between devils. Like, we don't know how they are, because we haven't really seen two devils interact outside of these two. And like, I mean, like, we've kind of seen Gimondello interact with other devils, or like we've kind of seen Libby and Zagreus, but like, we've never really seen a full fleshed out like real interaction as far as I'm concerned between. So I would really hope to see we get more on that. Like, I feel like if Lucifero gets out of this relatively clean, he's gonna be mad. Like, I feel like there should be some repercussions for like directly disobeying him. But in the midst of that, Meroleona goes for another punch, and then her arm like starts to like dissolve off. And this is when the second gate devil guy was talking about, oh, like, this is like her human limit. She got a little too close to mana. And that was really interesting in itself, because it would almost feel like she was doing something similar to Lilith and Nama when they like turned into like full on the element entirely. Like, I wonder, was Meroleona like on the verge of some type of crazy power up that like she normally wouldn't be able to do since she is a human? Or I wonder, is this just, as he said, she has reached her limit. This is all that like humans, regular humans in Black Clover can do. And even I would say she's above a regular human because she is a royal, so she's like, special, like special by that, and she's Meroleona, so she's even more special. So this is probably a very true, realistic limit for the type of power she is going for. She has hit like a hard wall into what her body can actually just handle. So it will be interesting to see that if she does survive, because there are major death flags around her, seeing as she's the only captain fight. Well, minus Yami, seeing as she's the only captain still fighting after taking all of that damage. It'll be interesting if she makes it out. What will become of her? Like, is she going to be permanently missing an arm? Is she going to fade away from existence? I know RT had mentioned this in the podcast as well as I was thinking it too. I wonder if it's going to be similar to a Escanor, the one or the ultimate one kind of thing, where she's used all of her energy, so she's just like fading away. Like, is it going to be that kind of thing? I'm really curious to see what will become of Meroleona after this. And after that, Lucifero takes care of her. One punch sends her down. And without the Meroleona, helping him, one punch, he does block it though, but he gets sent. Now this is important. This is really important. Does block this punch. Remember this for later. Blocks this punch, but he just gets sent flying. So after that happens, Lucifero turns and looks for Asta, but he doesn't find him. Then we get Nacht. Nacht coming in with another fusion form between Canis and Equitus. I'm not for sure. I know Gimadello's name. I don't know the other guy's name. I totally forget it. But a fusion between these two, it creates like these giant two like hellion dogs that like bite Lucifero's arm and have him like up like he's crucified or something. It looks hype. Like Nacht has like some of the best designs and best like show. Like Nacht always looks amazing with his spells and stuff on panel. Tabata does a really good job with him. But he does this to hold Lucifero up, and then Asta sneaks up from behind and goes for an attack to cut like his neck off, I guess, or cut the back of his neck, whatever. But of course, Lucifero is way too strong, and he just like rips out of that like it's nothing, just breaks out of it, And this again, I don't know what Nacht was thinking, because he tried this exact same thing with two different devils. He tried this with the Supreme Devils, and it didn't work. So why would you try it on the King of all devils, expecting it to work? Like, I don't know what Nacht was thinking. This is a horrible idea. This is a terrible idea from Nacht across the board on this one. A for effort, but terrible idea nonetheless. So Lucifero does turn to knock out Asta, but this is when, so then Nacht, he runs up, he's going to take the hit for him, and then this is when Yami, appears again. We see the little dark moon or whatever. Yami pops up with a wooden sword, lots to talk about there, and blocks the punch again. And remember what I talked about, block the punch, got sent flying. Yami gets up, blocks this punch wholesale. He goes nowhere. He's not moving. He is Yami blocked it. It's wild how powerful Yami is. Like, even though Yami has been down for like 3 days, getting his mana continually drained, he blocks that punch no problem, which just shows Yami's really strong. No other captains have blocked any of Lucifero's attacks. If you go back and look at the past few chapters, none of them have blocked any attacks. And there's really nothing you can say to try to discredit this, because Lucifero was going to punch Asta, so he was trying to kill Asta with that punch. That punch had murderous intent for sure. Not just jumped in the way of it, and then Yami just jumped in the way of that. So he blocked, and in rage, Lucifero punch when every other captain was getting literally rolled by Lucifero. Like, there was nothing they could do to any of his attacks. So that's just kind of wild how Yami, just getting back into the story, already has this crazy strong feat above all the other captains immediately. Like, Yami is easily one of Tabata's like top 3 favorite characters. 100%. There's no questions asked. Top 3 favorite characters for Tabata. And it's really dope because Yami does say something like, we finally get to meet again, so don't go, dying on me. Saying to knock, further, giving us information that they really have not interacted probably since Yami made him vice captain. Like, so I do hope to a degree that they both make it out so they can kind of talk and have that moment. But at the same time, seeing as how the situation is, I don't see how, because Lucifero is kind of too much for everybody. So I'm not seeing how everybody makes it out. Definitely either Nacht or Yami. Somebody's not coming out of this alive, or at least coming out in a way to be able to, talk like everything is all right. And another thing to talk about is back to the wooden sword. His sword was obviously made for him by William. I doubt he just picked up some random stick off of the ground. not so it makes me wonder, like, next chapter, are we going to get some of William? Like, is William also going to be in a similar condition to Yami? Because if you remember, both of their faces and bodies were cracking apart, so it's like it's weird to see Yami in this chapter with no cracks, no bruises, or, like, he's essentially healed, because he never got healed from his fight with Xenon. He just got literally thrown into the coffin and thrown into this, dark tree Abaddon of Cliff Hospital. Like, it's weird to see that he has been completely healed, or at least seemingly healed from all of that. So it makes me wonder, is William also healed? And who healed them? We do have like a lot of people who can do that. Part of me thinks that maybe Patra healed William and then William healed Yami. I would see no issues with that, I guess. So maybe next chapter we get to see William and Yami fight against maybe we get to see Yami and William fight against Lucifero. I think that would be really hype, because I personally have wanted to see a William fight in the manga for a while. In the manga, William has really not fought anybody outside of like that flashback with Xenon, but we don't get to see William go all out. So hopefully this will be a good moment if Tabata does decide to include him, to have William go all out. And then I would love to see this teamwork that Yami and William do have, because if you remember, these two, they work really well together. They have similar ki or whatever, so they like or a similar ki, at least according to Yami, so they work really well together. So I would love to see that, this whole like 2v1 them against Lucifer. I would love to see that. But all in all, I love this chapter a lot. It had a lot of like little bits of information in terms of like the stuff with Meroleona getting too close to Mana, more insight on the dynamic between the Second Gate Devil and Lucifer, like wanting to see more of their relationship, as well as Yami getting back up. That's definitely pushing a lot of plot. Definitely pushing a lot of P for plot. Pushing a lot of P in this chapter. So I would give this chapter probably like a 9 out of 10. It was really good. The chapter was actually really, really good. So let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen with this whole Yami and William thing. And I guess I'm just overall curious to know what you guys are feeling about this chapter. But aside from that, you guys all enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to get back to playing some Pokemon Arceus. It's actually really fun. I had my suspicions on it, but I just got it. I'm enjoying it a lot, so I'm going to get back to playing that. You guys have a good one, and I will see you all in my next video.